Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Nkata ONWUAMAEGBU October edition. It is my pleasure to welcome you once again to this special edition of Nkata ONWUAMAEGBU. Before we start, permit me to recognize one or two personalities in our midst here. All of us here are very important. Well, permit me to welcome Professor Azuka Dike and Prof. Mrs. Regina Dike. Permit me also to welcome our own Professor Regina Okonkwo, and husband, Professor Okonkwo. You are welcome to Nkata ONWUAMAEGBU. Also in our midst is Ogbuefi Chief, Fadema, Ajay. Please, permit you, I will learn how to pronounce your name. Next month we come. Also in our midst is Chukuma, among all the way from Owerri. You are welcome. Also permit me to welcome the Chief Executive Officer of Urban Radio, Engineer Chike Madueke. Also, permit me to welcome Abaranza Chike. Permit me to welcome also Chief Chidi Igwe. Chidi, you are welcome. Also, we have some executive of the Enugu Sports Club here present. Our media secretary is here, Chief Emet Mbelo. You are welcome. And also our social secretary, Dr. La Azike. You are welcome also. And then Nkata ONWUAMAEGBU also, it's a pity that Nana Ode could not make it this month, and Patrick Okibo. But we have a lot of them here also. Nkem, Aneke, you are welcome. Please, I will not recognize each and every one of us here. But one thing I'm assuring you that you are welcome to Nkata ONWUAMAEGBU. And we will continue to partner with Center for Memory to make this Nkata ONWUAMAEGBU a very big success. Because none. Maka na onye ga-ekwulu anyị okwu tata nwantịtị oge ọ ga-abịa. Ana m asị unu ebe unu si wee bịa, ma ndị si ebe tere aka, ma ndị si Lagos, ma ndị si Owerri, ma ndị si Aba, ma ndị si obodo dị iche iche ma na Abuja wee bịa tata. Anyị na-asị unu nnọọ na Nkata ONWUAMAEGBU. Ka anyị na-anọ tata, ihe anyị na-ekwukwere maka tata. Anyị kwuo maka tata, anyị lote maka ihe mere anyị nnyaa, anyị lote maka tata, anyị lukwe maka echi, maka na asị na echi dị ime. Ndị be anyị none. Thank you.
Permit me to spend a few minutes to tell you some more about the Center for Memories. For those who don't know much about who we are and what we do, the Center for Memories is basically an Igbo cultural center. What we want to do, or what we hope to do, is to try and preserve Igbo memories and celebrate our people in the country and in diaspora who are representing us or bringing joy to the Igbo name. You know, sometimes it's easier to hold on to the bad news. If you heard the news about 3-4 weeks ago about 70 people in the US who were apprehended for fraud, they were all Igbos. But it doesn't also mean that we don't have successful Igbo people who are making strides in different areas of their endeavor. So that's what we want to do here at the Center for Memories, to preserve who we are and to make sure that the generation following us will basically love their heritage and where they are coming from. We have an office at August Street in Independence Layout, and we have exhibitions that we show from time to time. And we welcome you to please, come and see what we're doing and join us as well. Nkata ONWUAMAEGBU, I would call it an Igbo Intelligentsia Forum. where we basically discuss issues that are important to us and that pertain to us. And what we basically do is that we bring in guests from time to time to come and share with us their experiences, share with us their challenges, to be able to inspire our young people. We do this every month, and we've had record successes in inviting people who have basically spoken on different areas of education, of technology, of business, and of culture as well. So while I would ask you to please, relax and enjoy yourself, we have a very interesting speaker who would be here to also let us know what she has done in her own field of endeavor. I'd also take some excuse, like the chairman said, for Patrick and Nana. Patrick was here last night, but he had to fly back to Abuja for an emergency. And Nana couldn't make it because he's organizing a meeting for the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. But I'm here, and I hope I'll do a good job of hosting you all this evening. So our guest is taking a break behind, and we've told somebody to call her. Her background is basically from the education point of view. Okay, we see her walking in right now. So she's basically been in education, and I'm sure, as you know, you've heard quite some good news, basically, of what she has done, in that field. So as she walks in, can we please put our hands together for UCHENNA? Let me also invite Ebere to give us a little bio about UCHENNA, and she comes up. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. You're welcome. I'm glad today because Mrs. ONWUAMAEGBU-UGWU is more close to me than she thinks. We're all fellows of YALI, Young African Leaders Initiative, and we're all girls or women in STEM, so you're welcome. Mrs. Uche, she studied first here in Enugu. She went to Okonano Girls, and from there she moved on to study psychology at NHAZI University, Oka. Then she went to Kellogg's Business School and Northwestern University. You're welcome. We all remember last year the Anambra girls that were making the raves in the news. Nigerian girls won all countries in the US, and it was raving. Mrs. Uche was the one that tutored these girls. She trained them from Onitsha here in Enugu, and then she took them to the US with the app that detects fake drugs, Save It. So the girls won, and they brought back the trophy here in the Southeast to Anambra State. And with that, I would want you to join me to welcome Mrs. Uche ONWUAMAEGBU-UGWU.
Professor Nebo once said that if there is any part of the world that you go and you don't see an Igbo man or Igbo woman, either single or with their family, it means that there is no progress in that community. You will know that there is no progress in that community. It shows that that place is dark, and maybe you should find your way home. With this, I want to say that it's a great honor to be here. The Igbo gathering is a place you feel at home. I feel at home here. I mean, since we came back, apart from the reception we had in the by the Igbo people in the Silicon Valley, I think this is the first I'm having again, not even from family. So it's a great pleasure to be here. It is high time that we think about passing on the baton to the next generation. This gathering is about passing on the baton, the next generation. How do we take the next generation, the younger generation, to the next level? How do we groom our own to grow and make exploits like we have done? I think this is what Nkata wants to achieve. And it's high time we make an intentional decision about mentoring, mentorship, and how to effectively impact. My name is UCHENNA ONWUAMAEGBU-UGWU, and I am Igbo. I was born here and raised here in Enugu. Enugu has significantly shaped my life to what it is now, and I owe a lot to this town. It brings back, coming into this town brings back lots of memories that I am grateful for. I am glad you invited me. Since I was told I'm going to be here, I think I am more nervous than any other thing I've achieved. So I'm glad I'm here with my people. I want to talk a little bit about what I do. Like she said, I am a graduate of NHAZI University. Read psychology, and I moved on. I found myself becoming an inspiration to younger people through my organization, Edufund Technique. At Edufund Technique, what we do is to bring in hands-on STEM education for younger children between the age of 18 and 21, to bridge the gap of skills that we don't normally have or get in school, to inspire our younger generation to greatness, to make the right career decision, to raise them right, to become leaders of tomorrow. That's what we do at Edufund. Today we are here. I'm here to talk about how we can use mentorship to achieve greatness amongst our children and youth, how mentorship can change the narratives of our youth to greatness, how mentorship that we have neglected so much can make a difference in our lives and this community. Mentorship, to my understanding, is a means or a system where a much more older person, not necessarily older, but older person or person who has much experience in skills and life skills, different types of skills, advanced person in age, knowledge or skill, helps to guide a less experienced person or less knowledgeable persons in area of expertise, bridging the gap between the source of knowledge, thereby making the journey easy for the mentee. What do you know? Transferring it to a less knowledgeable person and helping the person to advance. Bridging that gap, you know, what you've learned for 10 years and you want to step it down, it helps the person growing up to grow faster, learn faster, achieve more, and also understand that they have to step it down. That is what I think makes a society great. I'm going to give examples of how doctors or how professionals can do that. But it's easy. Most times we think mentorship is not easy. I would say that our journey to Silicon Valley was inspired by mentorship. In 2017, I, among 200 leaders in Nigeria, were selected to go for the US government scholarship program called the Mandela Washington Fellowship. In Anambra, we were only 2 that was chosen. And this application was pulled out of 21,000 applicants. And we were just 100 selected. Getting to the US, I found out that everything I've aspired or had ever thought of is reality. Because things become easy there, because they take mentorship serious, they take community service serious. Whatever you are, you have something to give back. Giving back means everything to them. And they know it's just a way, simply a way to retain greatness in their community. I learned that, despite that I know it before, and I've already started doing that, because my mentorship program was the one that earned me that award. When I came back, the very first month I came back, I have been going to schools, preaching about STEM education, preaching about technology and how it could help our children. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult to change the mindset of the schools. It's very difficult to change the mindset of individuals, even parents. So most times in my frustration, because I know that no matter how much you say no to me, I'll continue saying yes. I need you to understand that STEM is the way. So to ease my frustration most times, I go to the school and ask them, please, can I even teach it for free? Let me just teach. I'm not expecting anything. I want the children to have that experience. And that was one of the visits I made to Regina Pacis, because I've asked them for 2 years to let me do this in their school. But that day I came, I told the principal around, please, can you allow me to teach this? Let me teach them web design for 2 weeks. That is going to change a lot. And he said, yes, you can, as long as it's for free. I said, okay. So I called my team, and we went. I'm still talking about mentorship. And we started this program. After about a month, I got this opportunity of the Technovation program that took us to US. I felt so excited when I saw the curriculum. It is absolutely an opposite of what we teach in school. Absolutely opposite. But we took up the curriculum, we went back to the same school, and I said, I brought another one. Can we still do it for free? And he said, yes, why not? You can go ahead with the children you did it with. Of course. I continued. And we started our journey to Silicon Valley. I knew that there was a prize at the end. If you get to this position, you can go to Silicon Valley. I knew that these things were there. But the first day I met these children, I told them, forget about going to Silicon Valley. Let's focus on the curriculum. You never can tell the ideas you will get by developing a mobile app, by learning business plan, that these skills you're about to learn, even when I've started my business, I have no idea that those skills exist. I was just doing it because I need to do business. But if you at the secondary school level understand this business right now, that the sky is going to be your limit. So we started. At every point of our journey, it was winning for us. It was winning. And we started, and we got to that point. And there are times when I have to be in school and leave that school by 7 p.m. There are times my children will be in the office waiting for me because I've cooked the night food. I know we are not going to go home early. Those sacrifices was winning for me because I was happy I was impacting. Until we got to the point we went to Abuja for the regional competition. I'll continue that story because that's why we are here. But let's think about this. Let's go back to STEM education. STEM education simply means, I'm going to define it in a way we will understand. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's not new. We've heard about all these things. But in STEM education, it brings this together, tries to teach a different method of learning that it will help you to become a problem solver. Understanding technology, hands-on education that promotes paying attention to details, that promotes research methodology, that promotes communication skills. These skills, they don't teach it in school. Have you ever heard where they teach communication skills in school? Huh? They don't. So, but STEM education, depending on the focus you are giving it, whether it is robotics, whether it is coding, whether it is the technical aspect, whatever it is, helps the children to gain life skills for tomorrow. If you don't learn anything, you will learn how to use technology and how to equip yourself for tomorrow's workforce. That is what STEM education means to me, and I know that we don't have it. I will share the journey, how it started, but let's finish with STEM education. In STEM education, mentorship is born, collaboration, problem solving. I've said that. Inspiration, children get inspired. They get inspired, they get to think of who they are, they get to think of what they want to be, they become more innovative. They start thinking of how to create solutions. They see problems and they find answers. They learn how to be independent. We know what is wrong with our youth today, because most people want people to solve their problem. They did not have the skills. But this education gives children hope and brings them to that level. We all know that the school education system, we all know, we are not going to shy away from that, that is becoming obsolete. In fact, last week I was going through my books because my mom was a teacher. She just retired last year. And she keeps everything. She keeps my hospital card. She keeps my immunization card. That's how many, 35 years ago. She kept everything. And I was going through my results. And I saw my nursery school results. I wanted to compare it with what they are teaching now. It's the same. Even when a lot has changed, it's still the same. And the world is moving faster, faster. I am standing here, and people in Lagos or any other place will tell every other person what I've said, even before I leave this podium. That's technology, right? The whole world is here, even when I'm here in Enugu. And yet, we are still doing the same thing we did 35 years ago. So, but what is our society doing about it? What is our society doing to change this narrative? What are we doing? What are we going to do? That's why when I started this journey, I started my STEM journey out of how will I say it? Out of the fear of the unknown and the passion to, give my children a chance because they are not aware. One of my trips for an educational fair, I wanted to connect schools in Nigeria abroad so they can bring children from here to their schools and learn things together as they do the educational tour. But I went to Dubai at that point, and I found out that they have a conference, educational conference, through the Ministry of Education in Dubai. And there I thought I'm going to see a lot of schools because they advised me I'm going to make networks and connect. On getting to that exhibition, I saw, on getting to the conference, I now saw that different educational sectors are exhibiting their products. So, in surprise, I saw a lot of things. I saw electronics, I saw toys, machines, robots, different things in electronics. And the most surprising thing is that I saw children operating on those machines. That was it for me. I felt so confused. And I was wondering, how could these children be working on this? This is not real. This is only on the movie that you can see these things. Then I looked by the side. I saw a big Lego stand. Do we know what Lego is? Do we know? Okay, at that point, that's my adult life, I don't know what Lego is. I see it as a building block. I just see the building, but I saw Lego education. So I went to the Lego stand. I asked the man there, please, can you help? What is Lego education? Is this not supposed to be a building block? What does it mean? And the young man looked at me with like, who is this girl? His show was like, who are you? And I said, and he asked me, don't you know what Lego is? I said, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. What is Lego? What does it have to do with education? I was clueless. I don't know. And expecting that he's going to answer me, he looked at me one more time and he walked away in front of everybody. And that was when I knew that something is wrong. University graduates, mother of two at that time, and I don't understand what has just happened. So I left the place. I felt so bad, but I didn't feel bad because I need to ask questions. And I went to Google and asked Google, please, what is Lego? And Google helped me and explained. I was jittering. I went to sit down, and I was wondering, if me at that my old adult age has never experienced what the impact of this could do in my life or in the life of anybody around me at that time, it means that something is wrong. I went to another vendor, and I asked him again, what they are doing, what does it mean? And he explained to me what Google has already told me. I felt bad. I asked him if they are in Nigeria, if he knows where Nigeria is. He said yes. He said, is in Africa. I said yes. Okay. Has your product ever come to Nigeria? He said, no. I asked him, how old is this product? He said, well, like 60 years. I said, in the whole 60 years, you've never considered the African market. He said, well, I'm not sure it's going to be okay and everything. And the next thing I told him, you know what? I'm bringing this to my community. That was what I said. I'm bringing this to my community. And after 6 months, I started training with them. Immediately I came back to Nigeria. They trained me. They told me what to do. They gave me all the things I could do, even though they know I don't even have the money to buy their materials. Until I got some money and I started, after persisting, because I persisted for over 8 months. And when they stopped answering my call, I started calling them by 8 a.m. in the morning, so that immediately they enter their office, the phone will ring. I did that constantly for 3 months, and they just gave me whatever I wanted. And that was the birth of my STEM love and my STEM program. And I said I'm going to take it to the community. So, in the journey, our organization understood the gap. We know practically what is happening. We know that we need to make a change because we know that STEM is very, very essential. It is not negotiable. You can't negotiate it. No matter what you say to cover it up, you can't negotiate it. People that are aware. They are giving their children and exposing their children to different things. And people are still not aware. But this time around, it has to be a must. It's not a matter of you like it or you don't like it. For some parents that absolutely doesn't understand what we're saying. Except you don't want your child or your family or your sister to be part of the future. Even you, except you don't want to be part of the future. Because I know that our grandmothers now has WhatsApp. They have. Even if they cannot operate it, you will give the caregiver to say, take. And whatever happens, you tell them to use it or tell them to get information from there. So as we want to be part of the future, we also should be ready to get ready for the future realities and the future language. The language of the future is the coding language. And in this language, you can learn it here in Onitsha or Anambra and speak it all over the world. But we need to be ready for that. We also know that the future of work is changing. Some of the works we have today is going to become obsolete tomorrow. Do we agree? We may not see them tomorrow. But how ready are we? How ready are we? I'm seeing young children coming in, and this is making me happy. How ready are we to change the narrative? How ready are you to be part of the future? What are you going to do? How do we make our kids relevant? For example, a parent that I was trying to tell about our program and the club in school now said to me, you know what? My husband is already an engineer. I don't want my child close to that place at all. He doesn't have time for me. He's always busy at work, and I don't want my child to be an engineer. I smiled because I know I have more work to do. And the work is not to get the child right now, it's to get the parents. If I can get the parents to understand, I win. And that was what bettered also my parents' mentorship program, to also help them understand where the future is going. Especially when we came back from the US, every parent became interested. And I now have to let them know that it's not about the US, it's about now and the future. It's about getting your child ready. And yes, they may not be able to go to US and win gold medals, but they can become champions from here. So we have to keep ourselves relevant. We have to adopt the spirit of mentorship in different areas, both professionally, educationally, emotionally, mentally. We need to mentor each other. In all aspects of life, we have to do that. But the question is, after reading all these things, after saying all these things, it sounds very sweet. What is the way forward? What do we do? Where do we go from here? We already know the answer, and we've also adopted the method. Number one is going through the school system and changing the school system. But you know it's very difficult, right? It's just like me going to the government to tell them we need to change the policy of education. It's very difficult. And even if it will happen through the help of anybody or every other person fighting for this purpose, because I know I'm not the only one, even if it will happen, we don't have to wait till it happens. We have devised a means to conquer that through our STEM approach. Through this method we've tried and see it working, through STEM mentorship. So the second aspect is going through what I call the main market approach, or the Igbo incubation approach. We know that this method has also been published in Harvard Business Journal. And this is one of the most powerful aspects of mentorship. If you read about it, we all know about how we transfer knowledge and experience through going for apprenticeship. So you take someone at the age of 15, they learn trade, they stay with you, they learn the tricks, they learn everything, and after 5 to 10 years, you have to settle them. There is no amount of school that a child will go that will help that child. There is no amount. For 15 years. this person has learned a lot of things. But I decided to put that approach in my STEM program. Since the children have to go to school, we don't have an option to bring it to the classroom. So we take it to the classroom through curriculum-based, after-school-based, workshop-based, so that they get a chance to learn the practical aspects of what they have learned in school. They get a chance to be innovative. They get a chance to looking forward to leaving school and becoming innovators and change makers. They get a chance to learn those things. And when this happens, learning is transferred automatically to this child. So in schools, we have the STEM club, the robotics club. We have, these clubs teaches a lot of things. We just started a new curriculum on artificial intelligence for young children. And when people ask me, why do you think that a child in primary school or secondary school should be thinking about this? By the time they get to 10 years and they don't know this language, they are lost. They are lost. And yes, I am intentional. I am intentional because I know this is going to yield results. And you sitting here as a parent, as a grandma, as an uncle, you have, look behind you, beside you at home, you have a generation that needs this education, that needs to be mentored, and it should be trending. You should be worried if the school is not doing anything. So, by the time tomorrow comes, we are ready. By the time the preparation starts now and tomorrow comes, our children, our community are ready. Because we give them the chance to speak one language that will be understood everywhere. So, if your school is not doing anything, shake the tables and ask them. The children gain so much confidence right now when they start learning this method of education and when they start getting mentored. If you equip your child this way, there is absolutely nothing they cannot do. There is absolutely nothing. For me to continue with our story to Silicon Valley, I will simply say this. Your children, your child, your family member could be the next thing in Nigeria. Maybe not through me, but through what they have learned, but through the opportunities you have given them. So, because of learning through this method, because of giving them the opportunity, we are qualified to go to Abuja. We are qualified to go to Abuja to train for regional pitch. And when we went to Abuja, we also won. I went with 2 teams, and these 2 teams, remember we are coming from Onitsha. And whenever you are coming from Onitsha, you are like a sorry case. People like say, hey, Ezioku Onitsha Keno. Sorry. It is sure. You know, this is what we always get. Even yesterday, I saw someone wrote on Twitter, this is the first time I'm hearing someone say that they live in Onitsha. I mean, why wouldn't I say I live in Onitsha? Of course, Onitsha is just the same air that we breathe. I don't know. So I don't know why they are worried about us. But the 2 teams that came from Onitsha to Abuja won. And from that 2 teams, we qualified to go to Silicon Valley. And the qualification was judged based on all the countries. About 222 apps were judged online. So we don't even know the judge, and we won to go to Silicon Valley. When we got to Silicon Valley, now I'm going to make it snappy because I have a time here. But if you don't want me to keep to this time and I want to stop, please raise your hand. So, you see, they don't want. So, when we got to Silicon Valley, for me alone, Getting to Silicon Valley was a winning for us again. I don't even know what they are saying. Taking these children to Lagos, even going to Abuja was winning. Because all of them has not left Anambra before. So Abuja was a win. And you know one significant thing that happened in Abuja? The man we stayed in his house, at the day we were going, he said he's going to take us to Aso Rock. And we were so excited. You know what it means to go to Aso Rock? So when we got there, the security men stopped us and said, we don't have appointments, we can't go, protocol. And we understood. And one of the girls wanted to cry. And he said, we will come back and we will go to this Aso Rock. She declared that. And we left, we just turned around. But the fact that we've entered that gate means a lot to us. We turned back. And when she said that, we have not even qualified to go to Silicon Valley. We didn't even know. So we qualified. When we qualified, it was a joyous thing. And we went to Silicon Valley. I will tell you my prayers at the end of this talk, what I said in Silicon Valley. It was overwhelming for me, for the children, for everything. We had series of questions they were asking me, how does the plane look like? How does, how do someone, from that kind of question, you see that it is pure from their hearts. But I told them, we are going as winners already. And we went to Silicon Valley, we met everybody. The only thing I told them is this: they may be fair, that's how God created them, but it doesn't mean that there is any difference between both of you. And you know that where you are coming from. You are not regarded as anything, but you have to make sure that, first of all, build your confidence. The only thing I did for them in Silicon Valley was confidence. I forgot about the app, but I want them not to be afraid of who they are. And we did our pitching. And people came all over just to see them. And eventually, we won. We won. It was amazing. Amazing. Winning in Silicon Valley brought a lot of light to my work. Last year, the reigning thing in Nigeria was STEM. And it was enough for me. It was enough that people actually wanted to know what we did and what will happen. But when we came back, I did another prayer again, and I said, there are only 5. And we won gold. I am looking forward to millions of children and girls in Nigeria. I cannot stop at 5. And that was why it wasn't like anything to me. I came back, went to my friend's house in Abuja, and he came out to the house and said, are you alone? I said, yes, I'm alone. He said, why are you alone? That the way you reigned, you should have escort. I said, what, for 5? Just 5 girls. What of when we get to 100,000? There is so much work to do to be distracted. I refuse to be distracted. At the end of the day, I told myself, if I can be used to get 5, I need help. People in diaspora, people here, we should also come together and make this happen for our children. Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, they are our children. We are connected one way or the other. We are Igbos. And we don't have only 5 girls. We have many girls in this community. So, STEM winning has brought a lot of light, and we encourage us to start the spirit of mentorship in everything. Everyone in this room has a role to play. You have a role to inspire your children and your community, because it is said that whether nke ezigbo or nke ajọ enweghị ga na-ene ya n'ọnụ. But let us start agbala nke bụ mma, nke dị mma. Let us emulate us in the right thing. Let us inspire them to do the right thing. We have many children, but are we role models to them? Are we preaching mentorship? So because this time is going off, and I have a lot to say, because I didn't know I'm going to get a short time like this, Let me just quicken up. Nkata Ibe was meant for adults to gather and think of how to progress our community. How can we replicate such thing for children? How can we? For children, the only thing you see children where they gather is what? Birthday. And in birthday, that is where you see these children are talented. If you see the dance, they are dancing. How can we have carnivals that will promote children's education? We can create that resources. Apart from the wealth or material resources that are needed, we have intellectual resources all over the Igbo land. We can create a community where they say, once in a year, bring your children from this place and that place. They come together. We don't even need to go and borrow people. Our doctors, our artists, our pharmacists, our lawyers, our engineers, our farmers come together and say, this is our children's carnival. This is the place we need to plant the seed that we need to germinate into great things, into great exploits. I'm using this medium to plead this, that we should put this into consideration. We need our children to grow. We also need to start planting that seed now. We need to plant that seed now. So this should be a call to action when our children should be, the seed of greatness should be planted, and they should also grow to that to be experts. Then let me go away from children a little bit and go to community mentorship. In your community, what have you done to pass on the baton? I know that we have problems when they say the youths are lazy and the youth doesn't want to do that. But you as an adult that has the experience, what have you done? Some people, wealthy, rich Igbo people go home and give the youth 20 million. And they will be fighting to share that money. And some will even start planning evil thing of how to kidnap you and get more. My advice, plan community business mentorship workshop. If you are coming back, buy books for the youth. It's not all of them that will accept. Buy books, business book. Out of 10, 1 at least will come back and tell you, I've learned this. If somebody come and ask you for money, Uncle Biko, businessman, any 100,000, 200, send that person to business development workshop. When he comes back with what he has learned, give him money. He will do well. And he will do that back. When you come back for Christmas, pay for at least 50 youths that are ready to learn. Go to school, talk to them. Because there is no time, I might not even talk about what men are doing to create greatness. Because we are, even to our own children, they don't sit down to talk to their boys about what life is. The boys are now pushed away to go and figure it out. We are boys. And why I am a girl champion, championing the girls to greatness, the men are getting rotten. And I don't know how you can mix this together in future. Those that you mentored and those that were never mentored. Ask yourself as a man sitting here, have you ever talked to your boy about puberty? No. Because I've done that survey in secondary school. None of them has ever heard or their father called them and said, Nna, Otua. The only thing you're gonna know is warning. You go to prison. Akama drop ya. What have you done for that boy? Go to our prisons today. I'm still on mentorship. Go to our prisons. 98% are men. Why? I pleasing. Okay. They lavish there because we did not even start our mentorship at home. My efforts men are youth. And because you want the youth to hail you and leave you alone, you come 20 million, 10 million, can in the youth, and but then we have not sown a seed. If you sow a seed in these youths, at least 5 will wake up and tell them, don't come and say thank you, go and replicate it. I want to see what you have done. In the village, you will not have touts. These are practical things that we should do. All the very simple. Very, very simple. It is vital. Because women, at least, for the fact that you don't want to have an unwanted pregnancy, there are some certain sense that comes into you, and you try to tend to behave. But men, they have absolutely nothing to show for, except the ones, because I know the difference between parents that are aware and parents that are not aware. So most times, children of parents that are not aware suffer a lot, that have no information. But you that is reasonable, you know, well-traveled, it will not stop you anything to come to your community. Don't judge these children based on what their parents have done or who their parents have become. Judge them based on what you think that they will do well and do right. The first time I stepped my foot in America, the only cry I cried was the fact that I have people, I have relatives that have traveled far and wide, and nobody ever came home and said, please take this exam. It could help you gain a scholarship. It was a big blow on my head. Like, I never asked for money or anything, but nobody could mentor you and say, what do you want to read in school? Are you in school? What are you even reading? Knowing fully well that your brother is late, and these children don't have a father again. Even to those that have father, do they even know? And nobody said that. And I saw opportunities all over the place expiring. And we have our own children that is supposed to value and get that opportunities. But nobody mentored. Nobody said anything. And this is still happening now. And that was why I made that prayer in US. So, in conclusion, I would simply say, fathers, stand up. Mothers are already doing something. But they need your support. They need your help more to make the community fine. Then professionally, let me say something. We have the greatest engineers. We have the greatest doctors. We have the greatest this and that. Ask yourself, if you retire, who have you mentored? Who can beat their chest and say, you inspired me? Who can say, you are the one that made me who I am? Ask yourself, those things you know, did you tell them? Did you step it down? You can simply start with going to secondary school and talk to those boys. I know the power of mentorship. Just because they listen to you can take away 2 great people from prison. Just because you talked. You did not use your money. Just because you stood there and they looked at you and said, I want to be like this man. How many children want to be like you? Open stand on a television and go all over the world. No. See schools all over the place. Enter there and tell them who you are. And that is why I said we need to have carnival for our children on career, so that our children will see our father. See, your father is a doctor. He's there. They come into sections like workshop. We can start it. Come into sections. They leave this section, move to another section. The only thing that will be in their mouth is about career, at least for 1 month. And they start having imagination. Because the power of imagination changes a child's life. Can you imagine when they start at that age to start thinking of what you have done and what they want to achieve? It is very simple, because most times we have problems, we don't have solution. This is part of the solution. Let us stand up, let us be mentors, let us be a guide for other children. Let us see that our impact are felt, our impacts are created when we are gone, even when we are alive, because you need to be celebrated. One other thing I want to say is this. Our Igbo professionals who have achieved a lot should also be celebrated, whether they are here or not. They should be celebrated so that our children will know that these people have done something. For those in diaspora, if you will ever listen or look at this video, please, if you are coming back, don't buy chocolate again. Please, buy tools, buy learning tools for children. Go to schools and donate those tools. And I'm telling you, if somebody abroad has bought tools and brought to my school, or even Okonana girls that I went, and I have experienced, I won't go to this conference and disgrace myself, asking them what is Lego. I would have had a knowledge, because my parents didn't buy such thing for me. I didn't even know it. I saw it as a building block, like, you know, you go to a friend's house, you see it, and you be admiring them, and you even be doing. So I didn't even know that it's related. Buy those things for them. If you think that you cannot communicate with these children, you come back from Christmas, tell your children to inspire them. Create a room for them. Let them come in. Your children, teach them. That simple effort can change a child's life. Believe me, that single effort made Nigeria happy. If our winning did not make Nigeria happy, at least for 1 hour, Nigeria was happy. At least for 1 hour. I don't know if I'm saying the truth. And for 1 month, we were trending on newspaper, every newspaper, we were trending, just because I took my 2 legs to the school and say, allow me, Biko. Can you imagine if you make it intentional to say that I am a doctor in the US, I can't come back home, I'm going to support this cause. Go to my alma mater and teach them for 1 month. You are creating impact. Can we create a community that can do this? Is this possible, I ask? Is this possible? Please, can we make an intentional effort to plead with everybody, you and I, accept this, Children's Carnival. And I also give myself, here I am, here we are, for those of us in the community of learning, send us. We will do the work. We will try to create impact. We will try to raise those generations. We are not going to leave this work alone. For some people that doesn't understand, we have to continue preaching this effort. We have to see our youths and mentor them to greatness. Another one, please, since you will replace chocolate with teaching materials, let me remind you of another thing. Biko, bags of rice for Christmas. Replace it with workshop, entrepreneurship workshop. Instead of buying, because my mother has been a widow for 20 years. I lost my father in SS2 while I was in Okonana Girls. Most times we go back for Christmas, we have enough bag of rice, and she will be wondering, that's her target. Because they won't give her money. They will bring rice. Convert this rice to school fees or to skills and give. They will not forget you. There is a lady I have been praying for, even if when I've not known her, that paid my school fees in this Enugu. And she went into her room and brought school fees and gave. Even as I'm giving her testimony, I'm also praying. I have never forgotten who she is. So make effort. Don't give money where it will be wasted. Just let us make a conscious effort. So, again, in conclusion, we need to be intentional. There is no time. I hope there is time for us to digest this. But one of the things I want us to take away from here is that we are mentors. We can do great things. We can mentor each other. I am still in need of mentors, even while I am inspiring and mentoring each other. I am not able, just in case you have something that will benefit me and you say, no, she knows, I don't know everything. So, for all that have gathered in this room, for all that will watch this video, it is high time we know that we are enough for ourselves. We are the one we are waiting for. There is no other person that do it for us. Finally, my prayer in California, when I got to this place, I sat down, I wanted to pray in the night. The girls have gone to bed. You know, we had like a 36-hour journey. The girls have gone to bed, and I looked at them, and I came to my room to pray. I wanted to pray, but I can't find words to pray because I was overwhelmed. I wasn't even sure we are in Silicon Valley. I was not too sure. So I can't pray, and I started lamenting and telling God, I said, who could have believed that is this girl from the street of Enugu that will go to the dustbin and pick clothes that people have removed or wanted to throw away. I'll wash it and make it my school uniform. I am here with these 5 children. God, why did you choose me? I was asking God, who could have believed this? That girl in Enugu that was taking granite to sell. A lot of things I reminded God. But I know it was a reality. And I said at that moment, I promised him, please, 5 is not enough. 5 is not enough. Use me to reach out to more. Direct my step and let other people know the importance of making that sacrifice. It is not enough to have it alone for your children. Please, giving is free. We have everything free, and we can do that. Let us give our children, other people's children, let us be that button. Let us be the things that, let us be an inspiration for their soul for tomorrow. A lot can happen, a lot can be changed. It is the word nkeha bunkai should not be there again. Nkai is for Nkai, everybody. And we can transform the lives of our generation. With this, I want to thank everybody that has made this gathering a success. I want to thank especially the schools that accepted me. They are not here in Enugu, but these schools gave me hope. The very first day I carried my tools to their school, they said, you are welcome. Even after that, I received hundreds of rejection. Mount Olive School in Onitsha and Springfield Academy. They are the one that gave me hope to do this. And I want you to take the message to your school. Ask them, what are they doing now? Ask them what they are doing and what they are doing to lead these children to greatness. If they are not doing anything, we need to start making STEM to trend like BB Niger. Because that's the future for us. Thank you to all my friends and family. Thank you for the organizers of this program, Nana and I'm nervous, Nana and Okibo, that has been calling me. And this is a platform for us to learn that I am well on mother, and I am well on why, and I gauge one why where me putife. And for this, I want to announce that a woman just called me a few weeks ago and said, take this place. Use it to do what you want to do. A place in Oka. And I've been asking God, what will I do with it? I don't even know where to do. Umuibo, I am walolo. We need to start doing something for our people. Let it not stop with the listening or the words, but let's make a practicable action that will lead us to success. If you see what other communities are doing for themselves, they have one, they multiply it and give every. So you are one, you think you have many, they are 20. Can you beat that? We need to start living that life of purpose. We are the one we are waiting for, no other person. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, UCHENNA, for sharing with us. It's been very inspiring, and I can remember when the news broke out, we all were very inspired and very proud as well. We would like to also have a mini question and answer session to also give those who have listened the opportunity, to ask some questions, get some clarifications as well. And moderating that for us today would be Engineer UGWU, who is a lecturer with University of Nigeria and also is the founder of a STEM organization here in Enugu called the Beyond School Skills Initiative. A round of applause for her, please.
Okay. Wow. Wow. I think she deserves another hand of applause. Please. Please. Good evening to everyone here. You all are welcome, and I want to stand on the existing protocol. Uche, I must say that your presentation was real, it was heartfelt, and it was as if you were speaking to us individually, you know, on a personal level and on community level as well, you know, things that we can do to help. So before I start the question and answer session, I'll just do a quick summary of some of the things that I picked from her presentation, just to, you know, help us be on the same page. Okay, so she mentioned that hands-on STEM education is important to bridge the gap. So there is a gap. I want us, you know, to munch on that. What gap is it that exists in the education that we need to fill? And again, she mentioned that we don't have capacity in schools. And she also said that for us to bridge that gap, that the source of knowledge, that there has to be a transfer, or like a middleman who, you know, who understands this information and then who is able to transmit it to the youth via mentorship. Again, I'm reiterating part of the things you said. You talked about mindsets. You know, the importance of mindset, the importance of changing mindsets. Okay? And another striking one was when she made mention of how obsolete our education curriculum is, that 35 years ago, that is still the same thing and it hasn't changed. So I think these are some of the critical things that we have to talk about this evening. And again, since we are here for Nkata ONWUAMAEGBU, so how do we break this thing down to the Southeast? How do we implement all these things that she has talked about in the Southeast here so that our people can benefit? Okay, so Uche, having, you know, summarized part of the striking things I felt, you know, that came up from your presentation, I have questions. I have just a few questions for you, and I would want people in the audience to as well get ready for their questions, please. So while she responds to mine, you get ready with yours. Uche, please, a lot of people want to know, first, what is your inspiration? Like, where does it come? Where does it come from? How does it get renewed? You know, how do you sustain this fire to keep doing this and keep pushing boundaries? And again, you have gone to Silicon Valley and you guys are back. So we want to know what has been happening with the app that won that award, and what has been happening with the girls as well. So if you don't mind to educate us on that.
Hello, I'm here again. So I try to avoid talking about inspiration because being in Enugu has a lot for me. Enugu brings back lots of memory. I'm so sorry. So my inspiration is this town. A lot has happened to me here, you know. And I was that girl that always fantasized that an angel will come and get me. I was that girl that has so much fantasies and dream that something will change and someone can come and do it for me, and it never happened. So, and I grew up with my mom taught me a lot of things. My mom is the one that doesn't have, but she goes out to borrow something and comes back to give it out to somebody. That's who she is. And she transferred that to us. So, I don't know if it's an inspiration or my life has taught me that I have to be the one to answer that girl that is waiting for someone to hear them. Because everything that is happening to me now, I never experienced. My first trip to the US, I won as a scholarship. I never knew it would ever happen. Everything that I've done. So, the inspiration is there. That's why when we came back from US, I refused to be distracted by the media. I refused to feel that they have placed me in a certain place and I have to, because I knew that I was asking God to fill my cup. And he just started pouring the water. And all of a sudden, everybody saw the water. If I lose focus, he will not fill the cup. So I need to let God know that I am still here. This is the cup. Keep doing what you are doing so that this cup will get filled. And that is my inspiration. I need to answer. I need to share my experience. I was not mentored. I seeked for mentorship. I go to mothers and say, what can I do? I go to my mom. I go to fathers. I make people my father figure. You know, the way I get knowledge is that I go to someone and I said, I need this or I want this. And they advise me because I know I don't have a father to do that for me. So it's personal. It's part of me. I can't remember the other question.
Okay. Your cup is not just going to get filled. It will run over. That's our prayer for you.
Thank you.
So, okay, the next question is, what has happened since winning of that Technovation conference that you went for in 2018? So what has happened with the girls and the app that actually won that contest?
So the girls, when we went, they were in SS1, that's senior secondary 1, and they came back. I also tried to take them away from the media. They are young, they will not control it. A lot of things could go wrong. So I told them, first of all, focus on your school. Since that is what we need in Africa, and we may not get the support we have to fly right now, go back to school, do what you need to do in school, pass your WAEC, and by then, everything will go down, and we can start over. So they are facing their schools. We are working on the ground to also help develop and keep mentoring them the way we can. Like during the last holiday, they were all through with me. I try to also hide them from unnecessary eyes. They are still young. They are not up to 18 years. So it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress.
Okay. The last question before I go to the audience is this. You talked so much about mentorship, the need for mentorship, the need for everyone, you know, regardless of your area of specialty, you can say something to a child that will inspire that child to greatness. So what kind of platform are you have mentioned the carnival,
Yeah.
one, but we can all agree that the carnival is not something that is going to hit the road like right now. It will take a lot of planning, and it might take quite a number of time. And going forward, carnivals, they're usually one-off. Okay, it could happen once in a year, twice, depending on how it is arranged. But my question is this: what kind of platform, okay, can we create in the Southeast, in the Igbo land? What kind of platform can we create that will be consistent in terms of mentoring our youth, our teenagers, and a platform that I'm actually losing words.
I can help.
Okay, a platform that will be consistent,
sustainable,
and sustainable for a very long time in terms of mentoring our youth. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, let me correct the impression that something is difficult. I can create a carnival in 1 week. It's not difficult. With everybody in this room, we can do something. Yes, it won't be perfect. Even if it takes 1 year to plan it, it won't be perfect. But yes, we can do it. So, now, let's think about, because I have the blueprint. This is a dream I had for like 4 or 5 years when I started, where we can have professionals in rooms and our children will come in to gain knowledge. It's a dream. So I know it will work. Now let's talk about sustainability, because that is a one-off affair. We can create sustainability when we have willing volunteers who have said, I'm going to show up for that girl. I want to show up in that school for that girl. I want to save lives. You know, we left our work for the churches. We left our own work, the things we are supposed to do for humanity, for pastors alone to be doing. They preach the gospel, they do this, they do. What of you? You have what it takes to go. So let's say sustainability starts from the heart. If you are going to join the group of fathers in mentorship, if we form that group, 10 people sustain it, we are making progress. It could be a movement. It could be a movement that we say every Wednesday, every Thursday, in a week, I am going to go to this school and spend 1 hour. You can devote your 2 hours a week or a month for mentorship. It creates sustainability. So sustainability starts from the heart before we start talking about. In fact, we don't even need any resources to do this. It needs only your able hand, your mind, and your 2 legs to walk into a place and create change.
Wow, wow. Thank you for that response. So we're going to take questions from the audience. Is there a mic that will be passed around?
Thank you. My name is Sean Neneje. Madam, I'm very happy to see you today. I mean, breakthroughs like yours are not things that we're used to around here. So I'm curious. I've read several stories about you, but I'm particularly curious about which ones actually do depict the experiences you had more perfectly. I would like to say, if you could point us to a written documentation available, where we could go read more about the journey you went through, how difficult it was, you know, especially the part where you said something about having rejections. A lot of people do not understand that there were a lot of difficulties before the success. So if there is a place you could go to, you know, and read about these things and share with people so that we inspire people who are also trying to do more, we'll be happy to have that.
Stephanie Onoche. I'm a guidance counselor. I run an NGO that mentors girl child. I'm also a school counselor in secondary school because of my passion for teenage girls. My question is, we've heard all you said. We are so inspired by your stories and experiences. What is the action plan? How do we bring these things close to the student or the girls we're talking about? That's one. And secondly, I know you won't be in all over the places. There's only just one you. I am very much available to volunteer, and I know there are others that will volunteer to be trained so that they can replicate whatever thing you have to this generation. We are very grateful and we are so proud of you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Edo Gachukode. I don't think I have a question for you. What I want to say is, how do we start? I want to volunteer, right? So how do we start? How does the movement start? That's what I'm asking. Do we need a contact? Do we need a website? Do we need anything? That's what I'm asking. How do we start? That's my own part.
Hello. Good evening, all. My name is Aneke Marian. What I want to say is a straight action call. If somebody has the idea to fund a couple of kids to be inculcated in your STEM program, what program do you have that kids can be sponsored immediately to attend? Straight up.
Thank you. Good evening, all. I'm particularly glad that the president of ONWUAMAEGBU-UGWU walked in here to hear what I'm going to say. I think that for this kind of lecture, Center for Memory should have reached out to all the commissioners for education in Southeast. Very important. I also think that what the young lady is saying here has answered my question of last lecture when I asked the man, our brother, my friend, who went to Dick Tiger Memorial, whether he was able to organize a lesson teacher to take those children on the subjects that they didn't have teachers for. And his answer is that there is very little one person can do. This young lady's lecture has proved to us today that there is so much one single person can do. I come from University of Nigeria, Nsukka, to make this lecture anytime, and I'm particularly glad that the chairman of Enugu Sports Club noticed that I sleep over and paid for my hotel today. So I want to say, please, how do we take this to the university, the schools in Nsukka where I live? I'm aware that University of Nigeria has what they call ROA Hub. It's a innovation hub. I think that if you partner with ROA Hub, you can service all the schools in Nsukka in one sitting. It's important to know that there are people who do what you do, but they do not have the, what I call the vision. You have the vision. So come sell the vision to ROA Hub, and ROA Hub can replicate what you are doing for the schools over there in the schools in Nsukka. And finally, I want to say that it is a little pathetic that most of the VIPs that usually sit on these elevated chairs are not here today. For me, this is one lecture they should sit and hear. She is not telling us what has not happened. She is narrating experience, her practical experience. And we can go so much with her. We need to have all our stakeholders listen to this lady, and then we make a way forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind words. So let me start with the first person. If I may get you correct, you asked if there is a place I have written this, you can go and read about it to inspire other people. And also the rejections I got. Is that right? Yes. Okay. So I think I've paid less attention in telling my stories, but I now see it's important to tell so that we can inspire each other. But for now, I can share with the community too. I don't know how they will reach you. The links of interviews I had before now. The interviews I had before now are authentic because those interviews showed what I wanted to do. And as if God has always been listening with action, because I didn't say those things and I went to sleep. I backed it up with action. So I'm going to send the link. I did a video I did 2 years ago to you people. Then is it about rejection? I think if there is a second name I should take, or I should constantly tell people about, is rejection. Because I have the I have the experience like everything. If I had been to 100 schools, trust me, at every time, 95 have rejected me. 95. And don't even think that Silicon Valley, now listen to this. Silicon Valley has not even, it has helped in a way. But is there still rejection? Yes. because people still don't understand. We need a lot of work to do. They reject you every day. Rejection is part of the progress. Rejection is what leads us to success. So once they reject me, and the way I deal with it, now let me tell you, young people, the way I deal with rejection is, first of all, I go back to the car and cry. Every rejection I cry. And that gives me courage to go again. At a point, and the reason why I cry is not because they rejected me personally, it's because they rejected my idea, not about me. So I separate myself from the rejection so I can have the strength to go again. So yes, rejection is inevitable. And people may not even like you personally. Just because it's you, they don't like that idea. But does it stop you from moving on? No, you move on and continue.
Beautiful. Thank you for that lesson in rejection. So the next question is, how do we train the trainers? How do we train the trainers? Because obviously you can't be in one spot.
So you asked that question, right? And you said you are ready to volunteer. So I remember a proverb, I will say it later. One person cannot do it alone. It's just like a broom. United, you can sweep well. But when they give you one broom, how long will it take to sweep it? I've opened myself to mentorship. Every place I go, I give youths 3 ideas. And I tell them, if you develop this idea, you will remain rich and you will change things in life. And at the end of the day, nobody is even taking that idea. Nobody is ready. And some people will come back and try to collect number, do this. And when I'm giving out if you don't call me, if you won't call, don't take this number. And at the end of the day, most times they don't call. So what have I done? I want people to volunteer. I want to train people. I train youths. I get youth coppers in my office, and they work for 1 year. But the most surprising thing is that when they are about to leave, and I ask them, will you stay? Please, can you stay? So I can now keep you as full-time, because I've trained you for 1 year. They will now remember that they cannot start from this place. They remember that their uncle promised them a job in Shell and what. So I want people. Currently, I have over 15 people working for me. And I have 6 youth corps members. And I'm telling the states now, if they can pay these corps members, I don't mind training them. Because I will get tired. If I want to reach 1 million people, can I do it alone? I need armies of people that will do those jobs for me. So yes, I am ready for train the trainer. But the train the trainer is not for you to put your leg here and keep your leg the other side. You must be involved in what we are doing. Do you understand that?
Okay, so thank you for that response. Another one, he wants to know, I think Chooks, he wants to know, how do we start now?
Okay. I tell people I'm in Onitsha, but I am a global citizen. I can be everywhere. I have things to do. I wanted to start a Abakaliki branch, but I found out that the parents are not yet aware of what we are doing. You can personally meet me. You can come over. I know your strengths. I know your weakness, and I know how I can get you involved. And this is applicable to anybody. But please, if you are not ready to work, like I am serious. I work. I take my work seriously. So if you think that there is a giveaway, there is none. We work for what we do. Please try to reach me through the organizers, and we are going to work out something for your states, for where you are or your community. And think I should also use that medium to answer Nsukka program. So for the universities, let me tell you, when I started, I've made so much effort in the university to come into the universities. The first school I went to is Oko. I'm going to mention the school because there is nothing to hide in education. And I made a wonderful proposal. That proposal took me 3 months to make. And all the vision I had, and even I had to contact people from Germany to say, once these people adopt this proposal, you are coming to train the teachers. And they gave the proposal to someone, a senior lecturer. And lo and behold, I fought to meet that lecturer once, and he said, we are not ready for this. In my mind, I said, what are you ready for then? if you are not ready to bring in robotics in the education system, and I'm going to bring in people to come and train you people and accreditate your school, then what are you ready for? He now left, you know, this was happening like 4 years ago. So 4 years ago and now, so going into the university, if you can take my hands to go, I'm willing to go. But because I don't have enough time to waste again begging, I have to focus on people that are giving me attention already. I might not go to the university except someone is taking me there. So yes, we have plans for tertiary institutions. I don't think he was here when I was answering his question. You were not here, right? I was answering your question.
Yeah, it's okay. You can go ahead.
Okay, you can. So I am ready to go to the university. I have plan. I have development. You can watch that on the video. I have plan for tertiary institutions. And these things are not just for you to learn. Things that will employ you immediately. I also have plans for those that have not entered the university to get skills that will give them job immediately. While we were in Silicon Valley, Google made an, no, is that Google or Facebook made an announcement that they don't need university degrees to hire developers right now. So going to university, in fact, even those that went to university to read computer science, they come to my office and you ask them what program do they learn. They will tell me it's Fortran.
And Q Basic.
Yes. And how did you learn that from the board? And it's reality, like it's happening now. Universities, you know yourself. It's still happening, so we cannot be shy about it. Nothing will happen if we say the truth. So we have skills for out-of-school children. Even in your community, those boys, this Nafada and Wefe, will acquire skills, get job, and they will leave you alone. You come back, you won't see them again. Wow. So we have things ranging to that level as well.
That will definitely be a dream come true. Thank you. So the last one, before we go to another session of questions, is if policymakers were here, like someone mentioned that their seat is quite empty, that they're not here listening today, but obviously we know that we have influential people in this building. So what advice would you give to those in government right now on how they can start to push this change that we are campaigning for here today?
Okay, the advice is simple. Remove bureaucracy. Your brother will not do it. Just because you want to give the contract to your brother doesn't mean it's going to be done well. Think about the future. Think about the people you are holding their future and you are denying it. It's simple. I always say that it's simple to do things. Just do it. There is someone that asked something you didn't remember. She said, is there a program I have now that people can sponsor and get people doing? You asked that question. I said, yes, there is. OZUZU. Because you have to be ready. If you tell me you want this, look at old boys. If you go to some certain schools, I asked one principal in one school, in a community, you people have this beautiful building. Wow, what are you people doing in technology? Well, we have computer classes. Okay, I know the computer classes doesn't make sense. I'm sorry to say it, because they are still teaching you this is a board, this is a keyboard, you know. So, and I told her, how can I reach the old girls association? Because you have wives of governors, ministers coming out from that school. How can I reach them so they can implement robotics and some digital literacy programs in the school? And she said, if I if building, maybe ever. And I said, building, you have so many buildings here. Let us raise these children and they will come back and build. I said, she wants a tangible thing. As a principal. And that tangible thing is to renovate and to build another building. For what? What is going to come out from that building? And why we have so many beautiful buildings that we are not making use of. So this is to old boys associations, old girls, alma maters. What are you giving back to your people? What are you giving back to those children in your school? That answers your question. Yes, we have something for that.
I've been involved in mentorship, and one of my mentors told me one day that, look, creators and depression goes hand in hand. You have answered the question partially when you said, you talked about how when you fail, how you go to the back room, cry and all that. How do you handle depression? What gives you hope to come up again? Because I know you have inspired some people here that want to start, but the story will not be so sweet because they will go with fire. When they cook the food and they will find out that the community doesn't want to eat the food, do they throw it away or do they warm it or cook another food? How did you do yours before you get to the stage that everybody is hearing now? Thank you.
Good evening. I'm standing on the existing protocol. Good evening. Please, I'm standing on existing protocol. My name is Daniel Okwo. I will say that one thing that has also happened to me is this, what you are talking about, mentorship. Because we've succeeded in awakening the spirit that has been sleeping. Because why do I say this? Because you discover in this country, we cry about leadership failure. And then I run a leadership program most of the time. And then I discovered that mentorship is a very key issue. But unfortunately, you discover that you go to some people, you say, please, can you mentor me on this thing? It's either they don't understand or they don't do this, or at times it becomes a very big, difficult problem. And then, because when you look somebody or when you see somebody, before you approach somebody that you should mentor you, is somebody you feel that, yes, is supposed to be a role model. But you discover that maybe because of the position the person has held before or whatever, but you discover that some of them don't understand what it means to be mentorship. But the most interesting thing that you said you started your journey from Enugu here, and I would like you to have, if you can have an office, anyhow, so that we can reach you, because this mentorship is a very serious issue. Because it's part of the challenges why we are having leadership failure in this country, because if I know that each, let's say a state governor will now come and start all over again, he goes, another one will come and start all over again. And at the end of the day, discover there's no disconnect in the program and whatever. And at the end of the day, the resources is being wasted and whatever. And also, you discover that some people were just given opportunity, they were just sleeping, they just wake them to come and take responsibility. And at the end of the day, nobody is mentoring them, nobody is talking to them, either they talk to them, they don't hear. Why I'm saying this, because I run a leadership program most of the time. And then at times you break my heart. And each time I ask, will God come from heaven to do certain things for us? And the answer I keep getting is no. That is human being that will solve the problem. So what I'm trying to say, or what, in addition to what you said, because I never knew about, I think I saw it on WhatsApp, you and your team, that how you went, and then, so it shows that we have something to offer in this part of the world. We have something to offer. And what I'm trying to say that, please, if we can take this to secondary schools, because when you go to some schools, you cry. Not only because of the infrastructure facilities, but because there's no teacher. There's one school we went to Eziago, they didn't say that they have 4 teachers. And the teachers, sorry if I say this, I'm not wasting your time, but I'm trying to say what is the importance of this mentorship to this environment. So what I'm saying that, please, as you grow up in this Enugu, please, it will be necessary I can assist. If you can have an office, so that when we organize this type of forum, either for the principals, either for whatever that whoever that is involved, so that you can now come, because having achieved success, all those people that are rejecting you, when you talk now, at least they will hear, and they will be interested to hear how you have achieved your success.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Victor Nwokocha. I would like to briefly say that I want to remind us briefly that the last session of Nkata, like Mr. Mbajok mentioned, featured a speaker who spoke on education delusion. Education delusion. That was Dr. Chikwe Yekwaba. Now, here again we are. We are here discussing also education, issues that are rooted in education, a different dimension of it. What that tells me is that the consciousness of the Igbo nation has to be reawakened to the fact that the only fortress we can build, the only lasting fortress we can build to reclaim the future of the Igbo nation is to revive education, is to ensure that we build our curriculum in such a way that it will address our issues for the future. Now, we have said, how do we move? How do we start? I also recall I said at that time that we need a movement that will ensure a unified narrative in that direction. I think that the Center for Memories has taken the lead already. I think that the Center for Memories may go a step further to identify those who are already conscious of these issues and see how we can come up with that community at the micro level and begin to make representations to the state governors, to the Southeast Governors Forum, to Haneze Ndibo. It is an advocacy process that will take a bit of time. It's not going to start and finish in one day, but we can make it happen. Madam, I volunteer to assist you in any way I can. Any way I can. I volunteer to assist you to propagate what you do to any level. Thank you. God bless us all.
Stand on existing protocols. My name is Adamma Chinyere Otuonye. I'm fairly new here in Enugu, and I want to do something similar to what you have achieved. So, I carried out my research. I found out that parents are resistant to new things, especially when it involves technology. So I went the route of the post-primary school management board. And it's unfortunate that they are not here. But of a truth, they are ready. What the administrator I met told me last month was, bring your letter. We have over 270 schools, secondary schools in Enugu, who we will give to you if you can accommodate them. And of these schools, we have 2/3 of them equipped with computer labs that are functional. Now, my question to you. We have something to give, but limited to digital literacy and coding skills. Artificial intelligence, robotics, we do not have. A lot of people are willing to volunteer. We also want to create a volunteer system targeting secondary schools. Because I am from outside Enugu. I relocated here in December. There is a huge gap. I grew up in Lagos. There is a huge gap. We go out, we see these things, but we tend to neglect or forget that we have children coming up. A lot of them are clamoring for mentoring. This forum can provide such mentors to a system. We can build it. I don't know anybody here. But for the curriculum, what I'm asking for, how can you assist? And for those who are interested, we cannot come to Anambra. How can you come to us to groom the people who are ready?
Thank you. Let me start with the depression. We cannot handle this topic here about depression in entrepreneurship. Is another topic altogether. But let me tell you something. Depression is inevitable. It will have to come. But what helps you more is to know that it will come. And because it will come, because I know you will come, if I come to you, you will bluff me. I already know you will bluff me. So when you are bluffing me, I either, maintain my cool and walk away, or even let you know that it is not necessary. So I hope that we'll find a forum to talk about this to youth, because that's the reason why our youth are not trying at all. They don't want to be rejected. And again, the depression, yes, it get to a point where my children know when something is wrong with me. And they will ask me, has it started? And it's traumatic for them to know that I'm going through pains. So I have to find a way to cover up. And let's not talk about how it affects our own home personally. But there is a solution to that. So people mentoring, second one. People mentoring challenges. Okay, the school one. Someone talked about the school and the challenges the school have. The parents are resistant. That's why I said it's our parents that needs to change their mindset. Because when you talk to the school will tell you it's the parents. But when I understand what the school is doing, I decided if I come to your school and I must do a proposal, I will not conclude with you. I will conclude with the parents. So let's do a PTA meeting. Let me lecture the parents. And let me tell you, for all the schools I've been, and I talked to the parents, I've had 98% positive response. Our parents are willing, but most times the schools are in between because they have to pay some money and they want to make a whole lot out of the money. And me, I really don't care what you want to do, but what I want is, how do I get parents to accept? Like the school, like Mount Olive that has adopted that program as part of their curriculum. It is the parents that went to agitate with the school. Why are you not doing this? And you have this woman. It is the parents that say. So as parents, we have the duty to do that to our schools and tell them, this is our children. We will start changing the narratives. So because of time, you asked how I can help. I said I'm going to be anywhere. I'm working out something in Imo State. I'm working out something in Ebonyi State. And yes, why not Enugu? I started here, and I'm also going to be in Enugu. And again, even though my name sounds two names, I am born and raised here. I am also married to the soil. For some, God knows, maybe I'll come back to Enugu. So I left Anambra and I came to Enugu. So this is part of me. This is me. So I think someone said something about politics. I'm really not a politician. I don't know how to make political statements. So it is left for our leaders to keep trying to do what they want to do. Me, I will be on my own side, trying on my own. It is a lot of effort to change the mindset of a sitting government. But through our action, let it speak for us. So I cannot say anything about how they lead, because, is it only me? It's bigger than me. But what I know how to do, I will keep doing. And we keep doing, progressing from there. I don't know if you get that. So I think that's all. Right. Is there any question I'm not touching? I touched everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for taking time to answer our questions. Engineer Uju, thank you very much.
Please, before I go, I just saw that somebody that normally we say he's our husband just came in, Nyanwo, the junior. He's from UK, and I want to recognize your presence. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you very much, everybody. Our time is fast spent. We want to try and make sure that we keep to time and ensure that people go home on time. We also want to use the opportunity to recognize. Nyanwodo, our father. We thank you very much for coming. We would like to give you the opportunity, if you would like to say word or two.
First of all, let me apologize that I got in here too late. This is my third engagement today. And tomorrow I have to be in Oka at 8 a.m. And it's something like this. I'm going to talk to a number of children who are in last year of secondary school and first year of university on exactly the same things that we're talking about, the changing narratives of our times. Mrs. ONWUAMAEGBU-UGWU, I'm sorry that I didn't listen to you from the beginning, but I have watched you on tape. I'm very much aware of the revolution that you're engineering, and I extend the hand of fellowship of Ohanaeze Ndigbo to work with you to take you to places that doors have been closed and attempt to open them. Whenever I ponder that the world is changing and we are stagnant, I feel like a failure as a father. When I know that all car companies in the world have set between now and 2024 for the cessation of production of cars that are driven by fossil oil, which is our crude oil, when I know that the demand for electric cars today in Europe, America, and China has outstripped the demand for fossil engines and fossil cars, when I know that every public facility, be it a school, a supermarket, a library, a public office, is by regulation in all urban areas of Europe now required to have electric chargers that must give free charging to any car that parks there. And we have not even embraced the technology. When I listen to Benjamin Netanyahu tell us that they can use a drone powered by electric energy to determine the chemical content of a plant without getting into the farm, and to cure the deficiency by drone, by an injection of chemical deficiency elements directly by drone without getting into the farm, I shudder whether I belong to this civilization. Now, it is worse for our children. Yesterday, when I was talking to the Southeast surveyors, and I was telling them about planning, I recalled my days in secondary school. Those of you who are my generation here, you will recall that we had practical experiments in everything we did in chemistry, physics, and biology. We could tell the skeleton from the cranium to the metatarsals. We could do every experiment in chemistry, be it oxidation, reduction, double decomposition, lateral displacement of radicals, crystallization. We could do it practically. We knew all the essential elements in terms of equipment that you needed in a chemistry lab. I saw the test tubes, I saw the beakers, I saw the Bunsen burners, I saw the strips for testing acid and alkaline, and I'm a lawyer and I'm an economist. And I read chemistry 49 years ago. The visual impact of artificial intelligence on the brain is inestimable. It jacks your imagination so that you can think beyond the ordinary and become inventive. This woman is a catalyst for these thoughts. We will bring you back here again, but that visit will be aimed at policy formulators and policy implementers in the Southeast. I am sure that for many of us, parents and employers, it is very disheartening when you speak to your child and you see that your child is deficient in learning and in quick thinking. And if they leave the shores of this country, they will never compete anywhere. I went to school in the University of London, London School of Economics. And I had classmates who had British primary and secondary education. But I was first in international law because the standard of education here was quite high when I went through those stages. I did not feel inferior. I had an altercation with an English boy who I was telling to stop smoking in class. He said, "Oh, come on, black African. Have you stopped living on trees?" I kept quiet. And when it was his birthday, Andrew said to me, "It's my birthday. Would you like to come?" I came. And I gave him a book written by Walter Rodney, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. I told Andrew in the front of his guests how uncivilized he was. I told him that I speak English better than him, even though he was English. I told him he was Irish, and I'm not sure an Irishman has become Prime Minister of Great Britain. I told him that I visited all continents of the world, and I'm not sure that he has left London. I told him. I want to see our children there. The brigade of guards that watch the King of England and protect her have a motto: he who dares win. My children, dare. But let me end by speaking in Igbo. What I said yesterday. Nnamu gwalam n'ife dị ike na dị nrue. Oge nkiri ụmụaka Igbo nọ na Conakry na Guinea na social media anya mmiri gbara. Ife anya mmiri ji gba m bụ na fa na-eme ife fa na-eme na Nigerian Embassy in Conakry, na-etiwa ugegbe, na-etiwa moto ambassador, na-adatu flag Nigeria, na-achọ onye fa ga-egbu, na-asụ ya n'Igbo. Iwe na-ewe anyị iwe ka unu gwa ụwa niile nọ ndị Igbo na-eme etu a. Amara m mgbe udo ala anyị bara anyị. Nna m sị m na anyị na-azọ ọkpa na ọ ga-eri anyị ncha niile, ozu anyị niile, ma ọ bụ na ị nwụrụ na aeroplane ma ọ bụ mmiri erie eyi. Si mma na ọ nara emere mkpọtụ, ma ọ bụ na ọ na-eme mkpọtụ ka anyị nwa si eme mkpọtụ, na anyị amara m ife anyị na-ekwu. Si m ma na anyị na-egwu sọkawe pit n'ebe a, anyị na-akọta nri na ya, ọ na-enye anyị nri. Mana mbọsị ọ nọkọtara wee iwe, ife ọ ga-eweta bụ volcanic eruption. Ọkụ esi na-apụta, ndị ọcha na-akpọ lava, okporo obodo. Ọsịmụ na mmiri anyị na-aṅụ na ọ dị ka chewing gum anyị na-ata n'ọnụ, na ịta gị aka nri osoyi, ịta aka ekpe osoyi, ijiri esu akwa, ijiri flush ya, ọkpọrọ dị ya toilet, ọ kpọrọ ya latrin. Ọsịm na ọ dị emegharị arụ, ọ dị ka ọ gbara ịnọ nkịtị ka nwaanyị anụtara ọfụ. Mana mbọsị ọbụla ọ nọkọtara wee iwe, o weta ifo ndị ọcha na-akpọ flood okporo obodo, wee sị m na-enu ulukpu a na ọ bụrụ ọ na-ekwu okwu ka anyị si ekwu okwu, anyị ama na anụ ife anyị na-ekwu. Mana mbọsị ọ nọkọtara wee iwe, o weta thunder na-egbu mmadụ. Onye maara ife adịghị eme mkpọtụ. Ife anyị na-ekwu ya n'uke bụ ye bije nwa amụleje. Ọ bụrụ ndị ọgọ m ndị Anambra si nọ nwayọọ nwayọọ ka ije nwa mmadụ na-eje. Onye maara ife adịghị ekwubeko n'elu prọfesọ Okonkwo nọ ebe a, nye na ya na nwunye enu ka ọ na-eme mkpọtụ, mana ọ kpọghị bren ya ife ọ maara pụtaba nsogbu adị. Ana m eme ka nyọọ unu ụmụ okorobịa. You cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. I was a soldier in Biafra. You can't desire Biafra more than me. I lost my friends in the same trench, fighting at an impressionable age of 18. I don't know how many of you who are 18 who can carry a Mark IV rifle, not to talk about an AK-47, which is now renaissance. I don't know how many of you will watch a mortar blast his colleague in the trench and tear his tissues and have some of them pasted on your face. And you can still retain a modicum of sanity. It is not those who shout about Biafra and take your money that really care for Biafra. Britain is one of the strongest countries in the world today, but its greatest strength is in diplomacy. I have gone and nationalized our struggle by getting the southern and the middle belt people to come together to all say, we don't want a country of the kind that we have. If you continue to make our message look like a sole Igbo message, they will target us and extinguish us. Learn artificial intelligence. Learn humility. Nwayo nwayo, bije nwa mmadụ na-eche.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate the words of wisdom you've shared with us. We will be here, by God's grace, same time next month for a new edition. I'd please enjoy you to invite your friends and your family. We have, institutions here in Enugu, and we should fill this hall and probably get a bigger hall by now. So please come next month. All the adverts and informations will be shared to everybody. Thank you very much and have a good journey back home. Let's please come together and take our group picture